Do you want to create renders like this? Or this one? Or this one? If you are wondering how I'm getting this kind of a good quality renders and this kind of a turntable, so you are at the right place. I'll help you to get this kind of a render in this video. Without wasting more time, let's get into the video.
In the last video, we have completed our sculpt of this Doraemon character and we have poly painted this material. And in this video, we are just going to look at how we are going to set up this thing in Marmoset for our high quality renders. Before everything, there are two steps. You just have to check those two steps, then you can export this thing to Marmoset. The first step is just see in the subtool if you have named everything properly. That will be a great help. So if you go to subtool menu, you just have to make sure that you have renamed every part. Like I have renamed it already: head, pocket, body. You just have to select that subtool, go to this rename button and rename it. Just write whatever you want. Just make sure that you remember this thing in the Marmoset. So we have renamed everything, but one more thing is there. Whenever you select a subtool, you go to this display property and see if everything is fine. Like let's say if something is like this, double is turned on, but the flip face is there. If you turn off double, you will see this, that double was making this thing to work properly, but other than that it was flipped. The faces were flipped, the inside faces were showing up. So to fix this problem, it's easy. You just have to go to this flip button and just flip this mesh. So correct mesh should look like something like this. You just have to go to each and every subtool and check if turn on and off this double. If everything is like normal, like right now, it's fine. You just have to check that your faces are not flipped. So this was the second thing. So these two things are done, then you can just go export out from ZBrush. So for exporting anything as a FBX or OBJ out from ZBrush, you just have to go to Z plugin, then go to FBX export import. Then there you see this selected visible all. That means that selected subtool get exported or visible subtool get exported, and all means every subtool will get exported. These are the formats. We just have to leave it at default. Then these are some other stuff which right now it's not required. Embedded maps and S normals, smooth normals, that is required, and embedded maps, obviously that is also required. That means that if you hold control, you can see that what this thing means. Control and hover on the option, this you can see that what this means. So we have to turn on these two things. Other than that, we just have to go to export and we just have to choose our location and we just have to name this thing. Whatever subtool we have selected in the subtool, the name will appear over here, but we can rename it. We can rename it as whatever we want and it will get exported after clicking on save. So those two things before exporting you have to keep in mind: the flip face thing and the naming thing. So ZBrush is now going through each subtool and it is exporting every subtool as a combined FBX. So after this, we'll just jump into Marmoset and we will see how we are going to set up the lighting, the shader. Those two things are the most important. So here it shows that file exported successfully and your Marmoset will your ZBrush will start acting normally again. Now we'll jump into Marmoset. So here in Marmoset, you will see I'm not going to go in each and every detail of Marmoset. For Marmoset, I have to shift the camera. I'll give you a brief idea of this software. It's a real-time rendering software where you can just put your light, set up your shaders and get a real-time preview of your shaders and your lighting. So it's a real-time engine kind of thing. So in this, you just have to know 3 to 4 tabs. First one is this scene tab. Second one is this property tab, where here you will see settings. And third one is this material, and material setting will be coming down like this. If you select a material, the material settings will come here. So for importing our model, you just have to right click on the menu, scene tab, and just import model and select your model wherever you have saved it. Just select your model. It will take some time and it will get imported. Right now we have just dynamized or zero-meshed our model. So it's kind of high resolution. It's not optimized as a low poly model. So that's why it's taking time to export and import. If your model is kind of low poly, then it will be easy to export and import. But that workflow is kind of different. I haven't showed you that workflow yet, but in the future I will definitely make videos about that thing. Right now our focus is to get a beautiful render out of our model. So here you can see we have got our model here. We have got our model with corrected faces. No subtool is flipped right now. So here you can see that in the scene manager we can see we have this different names which we already named over in the subtool menu in ZBrush. Naming the things definitely work, so you just have to keep that thing in mind. Right now I will tell you how to fix the flip faces in a Marmoset. You just have to select the model and you see that this curl back face option is there. You just have to turn off this thing. But right now everything is fixed because we have already fixed that thing in ZBrush. So we'll just head towards the setting up everything. So first just make sure that you just select every part and just turn off the back face curl. Definitely renaming things help. So make sure to rename your projects, rename your assets properly. So we have done this curl back face. Now it's time to call the materials. So first we will call the materials call the colors which we have painted over there. But you will see for that we just have to go to this albedo, select the material and go to this albedo, and on the albedo you can see this drop down. Just click this thing and you will see vertex color. Right now nothing happened because in the bell we haven't applied any color. If you go to ZBrush, you'll see that if you select the bell, we have applied this gold material but with the white color. So it's showing correctly. If we go to body and albedo, then vertex color, you'll see the body color. Then default is, we can delete it. Eye, we have to do the same thing. We can see for every other mesh on which we have painted, we are seeing the colors. So we just have to select every material and turn on the albedo first. Albedo vertex color. Right now we have painted on the poly mesh. That's why we have to turn on the vertex color. Let's say we have painted on UVs, which is a separate topic in itself. Let's say we have painted in UVs, then we could have just loaded our map from this icon, this albedo map here. But right now it's a vertex color, so we can just import it from here. So this color part is done, but we'll set up few of the lighting things. So if you select the sky, we just have to, we can see that this is the whole sky thing. If you hold shift and with the right click, you just hold and drag, you'll see that this lighting setup is getting rotated. So we don't need that much impact of this skylight, so we'll just decrease it for first. We'll have, for lighting the scene, you just have to have a black canvas or a dark canvas in which you put your lights and make this as a art. You can say that have a blank canvas and just put lights. Right now this is the button with which you can just create lights. So if you click it, you'll see that there is one light, and if you are not able to see the icon, just press Ctrl U on the keyboard, you will see the icon for this light in the viewport. So few things are there for lights, just we are not going in that detail. For this you just have to increase the brightness and increase the sphere. What that sphere will do, it will just diffuse your light. Let's say your sphere is not big, the diameter is not big, then the light which you are getting is will be kind of sharp. So I think brightness we have to reduce it. This is just few steps which we have to do first, but we will be changing the settings later on also. I'm just trying to put a 3-point lighting setup in which I will just put a key light. This is a key light, and on the back put a rim light. Rim light will be a little bit bright. I'll increase the diameter. You can see how diameter is affecting the rim of this light. Increase the diameter. Then this will be our fill light. You just go to some angle and click on that button. On that particular angle, the light will just get set up. So we have just placed our fill light. So already we are seeing our model in a good way. Right now we are getting some shadows which sharp shadows. I guess that is with our light 1, which is our key light. So it's creating a dark shadow. Let's say you can see that if you have less diameter, you will have this kind of sharp shadows, but if you increase the diameter, you will get this soft kind of shadows. Shadows are also important, but make sure to make it a little bit soft. So this part is done. We'll change the lighting later. There are few settings in the camera. We'll go from top to bottom. First, we'll just go to the render settings. For that, you have to just select render, and you can just go down, change few settings, which is first one is use cascade. It will increase the shadow quality, and second one is this ambient and diffuse and specular. You just have to turn it on, and you will see that you can just create this ambient occlusion on the viewport. You can just decrease the strength and size. Then you just turn on local reflection and local diffuse, so that you get a proper reflection on a model. By doing these settings, you will see that the material which you will be creating later on, that those material will look good on your model. Then second is main camera. The camera through which we are looking right now to this model, this is the main camera. Go to this main camera and just change this field of view to 25 or 20. If 45 works for you, that's fine, but for this kind of a render, I usually use 25. And you can use the safe frame also. Only this part will get rendered. So, and the most important thing is this tone mapping. You just have to make it as ACES. ACES is Academic Color Encoding System, which will tell Marmoset to just color calibrate everything, so shader, lighting, everything according to this encoding system. It's a separate topic in itself, but just make sure that you just select this ACES here. And after this, we have to change our lights, because that ACES system made our lights to look dark. So we will just play with the brightness and the diameter. That itself is enough, something like this. See, we are getting a nice rim on top of our model, and we are getting some shadows. We'll fill it up, increase the radius of diameter of this thing. We'll just increase the brightness and diameter of this thing also. Now we'll just set up the materials. That will be fast. Just select the head, double click. If you double click, the material which is assigned to it, it will get selected. Like for now, I clicked on the head, double click on the head, that head material got selected. So right now color is there, vertex color is there. You just have to turn on few settings, which is first one is this in the transmission. You can see there is subsurface scattering. We just see the look just changed. It's like it's looking like a wax. So we just have to decrease the subsurface little bit. We should have little bit of subsurface, not that much. So we'll just decrease it. First we can increase, that will give this kind of a fuzzy feel. Then the mask, we can play with the mask, and then after that you just have to nail down the proper roughness. Let's say this is kind of too shiny roughness. If you make it little bit rough, it will be like this. So just choose according to your model. So your roughness is set, and now we'll just go to this drop down and turn metalness to specular, and we'll just play with this little bits of specular, and we'll turn down the Fresnel. We just turn it down, and I guess this will work. We have to increase the roughness a little bit. I think this will work. We have to increase the brightness because we have changed the material settings. That's why that light was behaving differently. See, this is what happened when you play with the lights and the shader. You have to play with the lights and the shader at both at the same time. It's like behaving according to the shader, and light will react according to the shader, and shader will react according to the light. So you have to fix those things simultaneously. Just select the eyes, and we'll go to the eye material, and we'll just do the same setting. Just in the transmission, go to subsurface, and we'll just select desired subsurface which we want. Then little bit of fuzz, mask, reduce it a little bit, put it in the mid. Then roughness, for this we will just make it kind of specular, like more specular than that. Then for the metal lens, we will change it to the specular, and we'll just increase the specular, decrease the Fresnel. I don't know the proper pronunciation, and that's it. So, and one more thing, we can do this thing also. We set up the material for the head. We can just directly go to this material and right click on the material and copy material setting. Then we can just go to body, because body is a separate mesh. So we can just go to body and right click, paste material settings, and you will see that the same material settings is applied on this also. Right now I feel like it's kind of specular, so I will just make it more rough. We'll put few more lights so that we get a more beauty out of it. So for whiskers also, we'll do the same thing, paste material settings, and this is done. That doesn't matter that much. But for the ring and nose and the tail, we have this same setting. So we'll set up the ring, then we'll just paste it on the other things. First, subsurface. I don't want that much subsurface in this, but fuzz is fine. And reduce the fuzz little bit. And roughness, we have to have kind of specularity in this. Metal lens, will change it to specular, and the intensity to a little bit down. Then same settings we will apply it on the other mesh. So for that, copy material setting, right click, copy material setting, select the nose material. We have renamed it, that's why we are selecting it properly here. For the nose, I will make it little bit shiny, and same time I'll make it more subsurface. I'll increase the subsurface, something like this. Then from the nose material, we'll copy the material setting and we'll just paste it to the tail 1 and tail 2. Paste material setting. That is done. We'll fix up the tongue also. We'll go to the tongue material. In this also, we just have to increase the surface or put the surface and little bit of fuzz. Mask is fine. I just have some roughness, little bit of specular. Decrease the Fresnel. Now our tongue is done. Right now inside mouth is too dark. We'll put some light to just make it little bit visible. Now the bell is kind of different, because in this we don't have vertex color. We have to make the kind of feel of gold here itself. So first of all, how we see the material, we usually have this feeling that this is metal. So that is to do with the reflectivity of that thing. So in the reflectivity, we see this metalness is there. So we have to just increase the metalness. So now we can see this is a chrome material. Okay, this become a chrome material. We can change the roughness. So we can make it like totally shiny or like little bit rough. Then after that, we just have to choose a kind of pale yellowish color. Now we are getting some kind of a feel of this gold. When we will be putting more light, we'll see more things. In the beginning, we just turn down the brightness of our sky. We'll just pump it up a little bit so that we get more reflections on our environment reflections. This is the environment map, HDRI map. We get this 360 map reflections on this shiny surface. So we'll get more reflections. We have turned settings here, local reflection and local diffuse. That means that this is getting bounced, the reflection is getting bounced from the environment, and it's creating a good kind of feel on the material. Most of the things are done. We'll just put few more lights. It's according to our requirement. It's like our preference. We can just put more lights. We can change the light color from here. Like let's say in this, I will just make it little bit orangish. Rim light as a blue color, so that we can get a feel of this sky blue. And we can change this, we can go to the sky and we can change the background of this thing. Right now it's ambient sky. This is just ambient sky is just default, which we are getting according to this HDRI map, but we want a flat color. So we can just select the color and we can just choose a drop down. For sky, you will see that the sky is right now not visible, but now it's visible because we have increased the brightness. but we don't need that much of, we don't need the sky, we just need a flat kind of color. So we just go to color and we'll choose a kind of dark purplish color. Now you can see this bell is kind of popping out more, and we can see it's looking like a gold bell. So with this, we have completed our render setup, the lighting setup and the shader setup. Now we just have to go to this render, and if we want to render an image, we just have to change settings over here. And if we want to render the videos, we have to change the settings over here. So right now, if you can see this is the location. You can just browse from here and you can set up the location. This is the resolution. This is the format. I would suggest you to render it on MPEG 4. You want this direct video, and for the images, I guess you will be getting this sequence of the images, which is this thing. And you can render it on CPU or GPU. There are options. You can increase the sample, but 256 is more than enough for this 1920 resolution. And if you want the transparency in your model, you can just click on the transparency and just click on the render video. It will start getting rendered. But before that, right now it's not animating. We can just get a render as an image. If you want to render as an image, you can just go to this same option and just click. This same viewport will get rendered as an image. But let's say if you want a turntable of this thing, so for that you just have to right click on the, we can just put all the lights in one folder. Just select all the lights, first one, then shift last one, then put it in folder. This will be our group. We can just double click and rename it. And then adding the turntable, you just have to right click, and here there is option add turntable. Select select your model, click it and drag it under the turntable like this. Now you will see what will happen, that your model will get a turntable when you move this slider. This is the timeline. Put it on the center front, and if you play from here, this exact same thing will get rendered out as a video when you will be exporting it out. We are done setting everything. We will just go to render, and we are focusing on rendering a video this time. For image, it is simple. You just choose a kind of image which you are seeing right now in the viewport, and just click render. It will get rendered at this location. For video, it's same, just location, resolution, and for me, I just use a GPU rendering and just leave it as is, and just click render video. So I have rendered it already, and I'll show you that render. This is the render which I got when I rendered out it from Marmoset. This is the image render which I have got from Marmoset. So you can see image quality is also good. So with all this, we have completed our render setup in Marmoset, and we have got a beautiful turntable of our model, which is something like this. I hope that this video helped you in getting your beautiful renders. If you have any doubt, any queries, just let me know in the comment section, and see you in the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching.